Hello everyone, my name's John. Thanks for joining me on StubbleMeetsSteel. So I've been doing all these aluminum razors, a bunch of DE stuff, and I have to admit I miss the single edge, and I especially miss my gems. So I wanted to get back into some gem reviews for all my gem heads, and I thought this one would be a fun review. So as some of you might remember, I got this Micromatic Open comb, the infamous mole remover in the estate sale. And the reason why I tried it was because I basically got it for free with a bunch of other stuff that I had got. And I tried it and I was like, wow, I don't really find that quite as aggressive. People deem this as aggressive as the legendary Mula R41. And, I didn't find it all that wild. And on the flip side, the 1912 for me, I found really aggressive. And when I finally did use the open comb, I was like, geez, I think the 1912 is more aggressive. And unfortunately, my safe decided to lock itself when there was the full moon. Otherwise, I'd show you. But a gentleman that I met, Lee Nunez, brought to my attention that there's two different versions of the 1912, as it's called. And this one is the more common one. There's one that's kind of curved more back right here, and the head of it is much shorter in diameter, or not quite as tall. They call it a squat head 1912. And so I speculate that when some people say, oh, I've used a 1912, it's super mild, super easy to shave with, I think this squat head is the one that they've used. Whereas if you've used a 1912 and thought maybe it was too aggressive, you've probably used the more common one. This is the super iconic one with the ornate chain link or almost DNA looking handle. And this was the first one that I got in my gem collection. For me, I was like, wow, that's just a super cool looking, or that Art Deco, old school ornate, vintage style looking razor. I was like, I need to get that and check it out. And I kind of just fell down the rabbit hole after that. And, I had heard nothing but aggressive when it came to talking about the open comb in particular. And I don't really like super aggressive. So I had no intentions, honestly, of trying that one out of the gem lineup. And I'm quite happy that I finally did on, some kind of free thing that I just got it in that estate sale. And I thought it'd be a fun comparison to compare these two. I'm going to do a face lather today, so I'll try not to talk through the face lather so that I can fast forward it. But I really like this is Razor Rock's Motherfucker soap, and I really like doing a face lather with this one. It just lathers so easy. And something else I wanted to bring to attention on the Micromatic Open combs are, you see there's these two little dots. This would be what I would consider a second gen. The first one would have been made 1930 through 1932, and if you see there's no dots there, is because at that time gem had a thin blade that was like a DE blade. What you do is you would use the one side, and when it was worn out, you would just spin the blade around and you had a fresh side on there. Well, that worked fine on the style with the no bumps, but then when they came out with the spine, when they had one with spine blades, they needed one that accommodated both. So they added the bumps there, and it bumps up the thin blade to where it needs to be without the spine on it, equivalent to what the spine blade would be. And I do find this one quite a bit smoother. I don't find any efficiency gains with the one with no bumps. I just find it has more blade feel. I'm actually looking to sell this one. If anybody wants this all brass one, I'll sell it for $25 shipped in the US. If you're interested, just hit me in the comments below, or you can email me at StubbleMeetsSteel@gmail.com. But anyways, I'm going to be using the one with the bumps. To me, that's the super smooth one that I really like. Load up the blade. Twist open still works great on this one. Something that I noticed using that super mild feeling shaving Shield DE and some of those other DE razors is the shave definitely doesn't last as long for me. Like today, right now, I have quite a bit of stubble, and it's later in the day now, but even before that, it was like noon. And I was like, man, I could shave already. So I find it so interesting that you can get quote unquote BBS feeling one day, but then the next day it grows back so much faster. It's like you didn't get as close of a shave below the surface, I guess. But I just find it interesting. When I shave mostly with single edge razors, my shaves definitely seem to last quite a bit longer, to the point where sometimes I even have to stretch out the duration of when I'll shave a few hours later the next day so that I have a little more stubble to shave. How about you guys? Do you notice that as well? All right, so let's go with the mole remover on this side. All right, very nice first pass. Definitely more audible feedback with the 1912. Very nice first pass. All right, second pass. I'd say that's the only spot there, which is my sensitive spot, where I would say it's, you know, gotta be careful. For me, the 1912 has more blade feel. Feels more aggressive to me. All right, let's finish up this third pass. I have a few Razor Rock soaps. I think this one is my favorite. Definitely my favorite smell. Definitely my wife and my kids' favorite scent. One of their favorite just scents in general of all the ones that I have. They all love how it smells. To me, it smells like Jean-Paul Gaultier's La Mail cologne. I used to have some of that for quite a while. And to me, it smells just like that. Very nice. All right, let's spray down. Let's see where we're at with the shape here. Very comparable. All right. I need to rinse up here. I'll be right back. Put on some witch hazel. I do have the matching splash, and it smells awesome too. It smells just like the soap. Has a nice, not over the top pungent smell like a cologne, but it definitely lasts a little bit longer than most aftershaves do. So what do I think comparing these two iconic gem razors? You know, this is basically patented in 1912, but they started making these 1919, and this one is the one with the dimples, so this would be a second gen. This would be 1932 with the dimples in it. And you know, I'd have to say that for me personally, I think that as crazy as it sounds, the Micromatic Open comb to me is a little bit smoother. I was looking for one of these Micromatics in the brass, and one of them, it literally came with lay flat on face engraved in the face right here. And I thought that was ugly, because boy, when these are all shined up, you know, they look so classy and beautiful, and I thought it was such a shame that Gem had decided to engrave that, and some of them, you know, kind of took away from the natural beauty there. But point is that when you really lay this one on the face in particular, you know, all gems for the most part are supposed to be shaved that way, with the top cap, you know, more parallel to your face, versus, you know, a downward scraping like you would get with the DE. But this one in particular really smooths out. You know, I laid this one as flat on the face as you can get it, and to me, I feel more blade feel, and I'll use the word rougher. To me, it's a little bit more rough. The audible feedback is awesome on this. You definitely get more of that cool butter knife on toast audible feedback sound that a lot of the gems have, and this one definitely does. You know, that iconic, beautiful, ornate handle, as it's called. You know, it is Art Deco to the T. I mean, this thing stands out. You can set that on the counter, and anybody will be like, wow, what is that? Is that a razor? You know, that most people might not even know. But I also love the beautiful looks of the Micromatic, and you know, it's awesome to think that, you know, a twist open from 1930, you know, 1930s era still works, you know, flawlessly for the most part. And for me, the looks on these is just awesome. You know, I love it, especially in the brass. Just beautiful, timeless looks. You know, it screams that the World War II era. I just love how the brass looks in particular. But you know, yeah, again, for me personally, I would have to say that the Micromatic Open comb was a little bit smoother. So, you know, don't be afraid if you've used the 1912 and you can handle that. I would definitely say you should give the Micromatic Open comb a try. You know, not to be confused with the clog proof that has the closed safety bar. Here, I've got one of those over here. I'll show you. See how this one has a proper safety bar versus the open comb teeth? And when you see pictures of these ones open, you'll see it has the huge lather channels because it's called the clog proof. Whereas if you were to compare it to a Micromatic Open comb, when they're open, it's dead obvious which is which. And you got to be careful, because when you put in the Micromatic, a lot of clowns will have this on there, and they'll call both of these clog proofs or open. They consider this an open comb. You're like, that's not an open comb. So you just got to look at the listings carefully. Sometimes that can play to your advantage though, because sometimes people have things listed wrong and they haven't sold it forever because they have it listed incorrectly. So don't be afraid to look around, and you'll find some of these in really great shape. So I hope everybody enjoyed the shave. I think next I'd like to compare. I have a 1924 shovel head that I polished all out. The plating was kind of coming off, and I put a Gem Junior baton style handle on it. I kind of like it like that. It is a little bit short, but it's pretty sweet. And this one, this is a real special one. This is a treat, but it has what it looks like just a regular Gem Junior, but it has a different safety bar. It's not an open comb like the Gem Junior is. So I thought it'd be fun to compare this one to the Gem Junior. I've got the featherweight. I was thinking about comparing the shovelhead 1924 to the featherweight. I thought those would be a good comparison. So stay tuned. I got a bunch of gem videos incoming. I have a Razor Rock Hawk with the V2 that takes the Artist Club blade. I was going to do a review on that. And I got a couple other videos I'm working on. So stay tuned. I got some good stuff coming. Thank you. Take care.